Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki, Sean, and Ryan are talking about movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 34, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zaki Hassan, and I'm joined once again by my good friends Brian Hall.
Hey. I was actually not paying attention. Good.
Now, bear in mind, we had about 30 seconds of just solid build-up to, hey, we're about to start recording. So that's the level of dedication Brian has.
Actually, I was looking over my notes.
Sure,
that's
you
the
were.
truth.
Notes, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
And Sean Coyle is here, too.
We ain't found shit.
You think we're taking this too literally?
That movie, I know. That is Spaceballs.
Yep.
Spaceballs?
He said, comb the desert.
Classic.
So this episode, now we are recording this a week later than we normally do. We are. This is the first time in our history, in our long, storied, and illustrious history, where we actually slipped a deadline. And I feel like we owe the audience an explanation and an apology. So, it's Sean's fault. I'm just going to say it.
We've forgiven him. Will you, audience?
I actually, in all seriousness,
Thank you, Brian.
I'm gonna put this out there. We were all set to record. We were gonna record last week, and I'm in the middle of teaching 8 classes this semester, which is generally not something you want to do. And I'm suffering from severe burnout, and I realized that recording was not going to happen when earlier in the night I was like Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan, where my hand was just shaking. I kept asking random people if they were John Ryan, and I realized that it probably wasn't going to work. So we slipped our first deadline, and I feel
In over a year.
In over a year. So I feel like
pretty good.
Our hit to miss ratio is pretty good, but even so, I do feel bad about that.
It was funny how it happened, though. It was like each of us wanted to call and cancel that night's recording, but neither one of us wanted to be the first one to do it.
Right.
Not me.
I left a message on Sean's phone. I was like, hey, would you be okay if maybe we didn't record? And he called me back. He's like, yes, 1,000 times yes. and that's how Sean and I got married.
Yep.
So what's been going on? Now, really, I rely on this show to kind of catch up with you guys. So what has been going on? What's new and exciting in your realm?
Well, Sean and I found a treasure map.
Yep.
Very nice.
And we're going to go set out for that tomorrow at the old abandoned salt mine.
He's not kidding.
Yeah. Our individual houses are up for foreclosure, and we're just hoping we can find some treasure at the end of that and save that whole situation.
Sounds like the beginning of either a rollicking adventure or a tragic first paragraph of an obituary.
Yeah.
That's how this happened. And then it's like, oh, jeez. I saw that going differently. I thought this would be a Richard Donner movie, but it turned out to be a Brett Ratner movie. So, yeah, nobody wants that. I had something weird happen last week. A few weeks ago, actually, our garage door got left open by somebody.
No.
Yeah, and for those of you guys know, I use my garage for storage, right? And that's where I keep my movies and also like all my comic books and everything else. I got left open overnight, and I was freaking out. But I look inside, and there was nothing missing, so it was fine. And then about a week goes by, and it turns out that the one and only thing that was missing, as in somebody got into my garage overnight, the only thing missing was 14 DVD sets of Dallas. Which you'll recall I mentioned ordering on this show. I was like, I just got Dallas. So
were you robbed by a 68-year-old woman?
I was frustrated and yet weirdly happy in a weird way that I was
enjoy.
Bear in mind, they walked right by shelves full of potentially thousands of dollars worth of comics.
Yeah.
They lifted 14 sets of Dallas. So I was like angry and yet kind of like, okay, well, you found something. But here's the funny thing. Right away, people are like, oh, your wife did it. Like that was the immediate reaction. I was like, wow, none of you think very highly of my wife. So I now bear in mind, I'm in the middle of the show. I'm moving through it. So I'm on like the 5th season. So this was as inopportune as it could have been, because I'm like, I finished the 4th season. I was literally, this is true, I was in the middle of the Who Shot JR cliffhanger. So I'm like, oh my God, who shot JR? Well, let me go out to the garage and get the next. So I right away I got on Amazon and I reordered the sets, and they arrived 2 days later.
And you found out the baby shot him.
It turned a little anticlimactic, admittedly. Yeah. And I sewed the DVD sets into the lining of my jacket so that now they're near my heart, and they can never be taken from me. So that's a weird thing that happened to me. So very odd. I'm grateful that nothing else of value was taken. I just find it amusing and bizarre that that's the one thing that was stolen.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all. So, as we do each week, we try to start things off with some listener letters, and I wanted to bring to your attention a new review that somebody posted for us on iTunes.
About this show?
About this show. We occasionally, every once in a blue moon, we get a new reviews, and when we get one, I like to point things out because we want more of those. So,
is nice. The review, why can't you be more like Lloyd Braun?
This is by Maverick B93, and he or she, I suppose, says, really great stuff for anyone looking for intelligent movie reviews. Highly recommend to follow more podcasts like this.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes. So we are intelligent, or we're being told by this anonymous person on
Thanks,
the internet.
Brian's mom.
Now, last time we talked a little bit about Captain Phillips, which I had seen, and you all had not.
No, sir.
So I'm assuming enough time has passed now that I'm assuming both of you have had a chance to see it by now, yes?
Negative.
I have.
Okay. Okay. One of you has had a chance to see it.
I saw it twice, actually, so I saw it for you as well, Sean.
Oh,
Thank you.
I saw it I went home and visited my parents with my girlfriend, and we all went and saw it, and then I saw it again with my brother, and I enjoyed it both times.
Okay.
I don't know that it's a movie I would have seen twice on my own, and not because it isn't good, but just, it's a tense journey, and even though I guess you do know, if you're familiar with the actual true event that happened, you know how it's going to end, but getting there is a worthy experience, and pretty stressful, pretty tense, and Tom Hanks, I mean, you sort of forget what he's capable of, I think, sometimes, and he is putting it all out there in this movie, and he does an extremely good job, and really, there's times you just forget. Like, sometimes the way that I watch movies, and, we watch them more closely, I think, than a lot of people, like, I, unfortunately, will sometimes see the set, and I'll see the actor, and I'll see, like, oh, he's doing a really good job in this scene. And I started doing that at the beginning. I was like, well, it's Tom Hanks, he's on a boat. And,
right.
But then by the end, you lose all of that. I mean, the story, Paul Greengrass, who kind of has this documentary-style way of filming, I think it can make, if he gets too shaky with the camera and too, documentary style can get a little obnoxious, but I thought he did it just right in this one. Really pulled you into what was going on, placed you into the drama, and again, Tom Hanks, really effective performance, and by the end, I mean, you're just sort of lights come back on and you catch your breath for a little bit and then walk out and think about it for the next couple days. So I really highly recommend it for people who haven't seen it.
Cool.
And you caught up on some other movies recently, right, Brian?
Yeah, I actually saw quite a bit. I'll just say real briefly because this one's a little bit older, but I saw Oblivion with Tom Cruise, Joseph Kosinski.
You had not seen that when we talked about it.
No, I don't know. Somehow I missed that one, and I'd wanted to see it. And there was again, this is my girlfriend and my parents, and so it's hard, like picking. When you're the guy who's gonna try to pick the movie, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I gotta. My dad is kind of like this, and my mom's kind of like that, and my girlfriend's pretty game for a lot of stuff. So I was like, I think this one might work, and I gotta say, I think it kind of did. I don't know if they'd admit it, but what I enjoyed about it was it felt this is almost giving it too much credit, but it did feel like a thinking man's blockbuster. Like, it asks a little bit more of what I think a blockbuster viewing audience is expecting when they go into it. And I don't know if all of that exactly pays off. But at the same time, I appreciated how much mystery there was. And I truly had no idea where this movie was going for about 2/3 of it. And I was pretty captivated with it. I think by the third act, it did turn into sort of like a normal sort of blockbuster and just get a little, there's like some twists and turns where you're like, what? That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
But the mystery and the pulling you along through the first 2/3, I was really into it. So I recommend it, like, especially as a rental if you haven't seen it. Like, just seeing something kind of interesting and different. I enjoyed it. I mean, what do you think about that, Zaki, since I know you've seen it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I said back when we talked about it. I can't say it really stayed with me. I appreciated the imagery more than the.
Sure.
I felt a little detached from the sort of the proceedings because I felt like it was missing kind of a human element.
Sure.
But you would consider it a thinking man's blockbuster.
Well, again, I feel like that's a little too strong. I really don't think it earns that necessarily, but I feel like it's a step in that direction where it's a little more patient with its storytelling. And
Points for trying.
It requires you to be patient with what it's trying to lay out for you. Yeah. And I sort of appreciated that. I guess I was in the mood for it. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you talk about thinking man's blockbuster, you saw another film which I think qualifies for that. Olympus Has Fallen.
Here we go.
Now, you finally got around to seeing that.
So the girlfriend and I were at the Red Box and we're like trying to pick something and we just weren't feeling it. And she's like, want to see this? I want to see this. And then we're like, let's see Olympus Has Fallen. Like, I could do that. We're both like, yeah, let's do that. I'm just thinking, hey, Morgan Freeman's on the front. Like Aaron Eckhart. I feel like I have an idea of what this movie is going to be. So we pop it in, and about 10 minutes in, I'm not going to spoil anything, but obviously the White House gets taken over and, bad guys infiltrate D.C. basically. But this, let me put it this way. How many people can you stab in the head in a movie before it becomes blasé? I mean, this movie is crazy violent.
Yeah.
Like, I was not prepared at all for this. My girlfriend certainly was not prepared, and she was like, "I'm over this." I was like, "No, I just we don't have another one. Let's just do this. Let's just keep going." And I'll say this because then afterward, I looked up a couple of reviews, and a lot of people seemed to like it, and I was like, I think I just went into this not knowing what it was. This is a Steven Seagal movie, basically.
That's right.
Right? But what's funny is you have like Oscar winner Melissa Leo in it, who I am convinced had no idea what movie she was in. Because she's being tortured by these bad guys, and then they're she's got information that they need. She's like, I'll never give it up. And then they like take her and pull her down the hall, and she's like pledge allegiancing to the flag as they're like dragging her down the hall and beating her. And I was like, she totally thought she was going to get another Oscar for this movie. She had no idea she was in a Steven Seagal movie. Like, I don't know. And my favorite. Okay, hold on. My one favorite part that I'm going to spoil. Gerard Butler is basically hiding in the walls at one point in this movie.
Yeah.
And the bad guys are like, they're like, trying to find him. And of course they're in the room of said walls. And then one of the bad guys says something, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, wait a minute. What year did Eisenhower, like, what was he president? Or what year was he president? And they're like, 49 or something like that. And he's just like, he's in the walls. And I just looked at my girlfriend, Stacey. I was like, what? And they start shooting at the walls. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Well, they're obviously trivia buffs. They watched Schoolhouse Rock.
But why does that mean he's in the walls?
I have no idea. They don't want you to ask that question.
I don't know.
I mentioned this. I mentioned this when we talked about it. The part where I lost it was when what's his name? Gerard Butler is boxing with the bad guy.
Oh
yeah.
And the president's like, "Get him, Mike," or something. Like, it's just so silly.
No, the movie starts out with Gerard Butler, who's like the head Secret Service guy, and he's boxing with Aaron Eckhart, right?
Right.
And who plays the president. And so they're boxing. And I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, man, I feel kind of left out that I don't have a male friend that I box with. I'm like, it seems like in every movie, like male friends box with each other.
That's like
and
the
so
damn
anyway,
thing.
story elements bring those two apart. And then Aaron Eckhart has like another new right-hand man. And they're boxing together. I was like, okay, no, seriously, I seriously feel left out. This is what they do.
Sean, Brian needs a boxing buddy.
All right.
And that's
Yeah.
not code for anything.
Anyway,
now,
I mean, if you're looking for like a really cheesy, pulpy B movie with Morgan Freeman in it.
well, and also, I mean, the movie did well enough that they have a sequel coming out.
Yeah, so surprised. Again, this is like one of those things, I didn't really follow it. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought I was getting into something else. I was totally surprised by this and like kind of disappointed. But people seem to like it. I mean, from what I've seen online. And a sequel is coming. London has fallen.
London has fallen. There we go. So see,
yeah, my girlfriend's review, I'll put it on the air here for her. She just said, she's like, hey, Brian, can you take that out of the player for me? Sit it on the ground. I'm going to have my dog poop on it. But anyway, I should say, I mean, all these movies I've just talked about that I've been a little harsh on. Again, I think these were sort of, I had expectations and they were completely different than what I expected. And
Don't apologize for how you feel.
Yeah, I know.
Brian.
I think it's interesting because I'm finding that a lot of people disagree with my opinions on these movies. So that's just my
that doesn't
opinion.
mean you're wrong. Who gives a shit what other people think? Sorry,
Yeah,
we got
Brian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah, Brian,
Yeah.
suck it up, will
It's
you?
none of your business what other people think of you, Brian.
It's true. Let's heal, Brian. You- very quickly, we talk about new releases. I got to see Las Vegas,
Oh.
which I would actually like to recommend, and that's kind of floating under the radar a little bit. It's Michael Douglas, Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Kline as old friends who go to Las Vegas for Michael Douglas's bachelor party. And it you know what I said when I saw it is that it's kind of the Hangover for people who didn't really dig the Hangover, and I'm somebody who didn't really dig the Hangover, so it worked for me, and it's kind of low hanging fruit in that it doesn't strive to do much, but it succeeds sort of amicably at what it's trying to be. It's just a fun movie. You know, you enjoy seeing these people. I saw Morgan Freeman on the poster, and I was like, oh, he won't let me down. But it was fun, actually. You know, it's just a fun little flick.
I imagine it.
Mm-hmm. So it's sort of when I first heard about it, I wasn't sure if it was going to try to be sort of like a hangover-y thing, or is it more of like a charming kind of nice?
It's
Not nice, but you know what I mean, like a little more
sweet.
Yeah, a little more sweet, exactly.
A little more heart. I would say it has a little more heart to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's some nice arcs there, you know, and it talks about aging and things like that, obviously, with these actors, you know, and De Niro plays somebody who's just recently lost his wife after several, decades of marriage, and Michael Douglas is this guy who's just trying to be eternally young, and he's, 70, and he's engaged to this 30-year-old, and some interesting stuff there. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, as we get older and we start realizing like the passage of time just starts feeling more real. You know, I find more poignancy in stories like this.
Sure.
Not to say that we're anywhere near those guys, but I mean, that idea of friendships that are long lived and sort of the shared history that you have with people. I mean, there's something that I find more resonant in that than let's hit the baby with the car door. Like I find that not as funny. So
yeah.
Hey, we've been friends for a long time.
We have.
Yeah. Sean, you and I have known each other since '96.
Good Lord.
Yeah, although we kind of rounded backward because even though we became friends senior year and basically met senior year, apparently we had a class together freshman year of high school, but we didn't realize it.
You guys have been friends longer than I've had the internet.
Damn.
Wow, when you put it that way. When did you get the internet, Brian?
I first remember really using it maybe when I was like 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that would have been 97?
7. Yeah, because I had a girlfriend go away to college, and I was like, well, I guess there's this thing. I remember this. It was like, well, we could email. I hear this email.
And you said it with air quotes.
Yeah.
There's this
electronic mail.
By the way,
crazy, isn't it?
This is kind of funny. I forgot to mention this in listener letters, but last time we mentioned the Reno story, and I got a note from the famous Reno story. Yeah, I got a note from John in Reno that just said "F you." So that no.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just no. I got a note from somebody who said, "Tell the Vegas story."
Tell the Vegas story?
Tell the Vegas story.
Yeah, we have a Vegas story.
Go ahead, tell the Vegas story.
So, Brian,
Yeah?
you were filming a movie in Vegas,
Yeah.
if you remember. I don't remember what the movie was.
I remember. It was called Lucky You. It was by Curtis Hanson, Eric Bana, Drew Barrymore.
Oh, okay. And how did that movie do? I think the 3 people you named are the only ones who actually went to see it in the theater. I believe.
I saw it.
Okay, so 4 people went. So you were off filming that, and I had driven down or flown down to SoCal to hang out with you guys, and you were not there.
I was in Vegas for the movie, yeah.
You were in Vegas, and you were driving back. Is that right?
Yes.
You were
Yes.
driving back, so you got back in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was literally like you had just gotten back, you're exhausted, you've been driving all day, and it was so
Yeah.
you, me, and Sean were just like sitting there, and I was like, I'd love to go to Vegas one of these days. And Sean is like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Sean's like, right now, let's just go. And
Yeah.
and but Sean and I look at Brian. Brian's just like, I'm not driving.
It's no exaggeration. He had literally just come from Las Vegas.
It was.
Yeah, I remember that. I stumbled through the door, and I was laying on the ground. I remember that. I was laying on the ground.
It was like within half an hour of you getting back.
Yeah.
And we hopped in the car, and I mean, how long is the drive? It's not a short drive.
It's like 4 hours.
4 hours, something like that.
4 hours. So we got there, we walked around up and down the strip, and then we checked into a hotel, went to bed, woke up in the morning, drove back.
Yeah. I mean, we just did like a night there and came back.
But here's the weird thing. And this is my random memory of this. What I remember is that we were at like some diner at whenever the hell, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
That's funny because that's one of the few things I remember about it too.
When we were at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I started regaling you with my idea for a new Karate Kid movie.
Yep.
That would bring back Daniel and Mr. Miyagi and the whole. Do you remember
I
this?
don't remember. I just remember how high we stacked a bunch of creamers. That's honestly all I remember.
I was like in the zone. I was like wide awake. I'd had like too many cherry cokes. I was like, and then Daniel, and then Johnny comes back, and they reopen the Cobra Kai, and then blah blah blah, and then I hope Miyagi dies, and the new Karate Kid. I had this whole thing. I was like into it. The security people were like dragging me away because I was all doing the crane kick. It was crazy. And then Pat Morita died a few months later, and I was like, God damn it! So
Ruins everything.
So as a result, my idea never got made because Pat Morita.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember about it. So that is our Vegas story. Not as special, not as memorable as the Reno story, but that is the Vegas story. So
At least Vegas was open.
Vegas was open. It's true. That's very true. Now we have some headlines to discuss. We have kind of a surplus of headlines because we missed a week in the middle. And right up top, I wanted to mention the passing of Marsha Wallace, who played Mrs. Krabappel on The Simpsons, as well as, I mean, she'd also been on the new Bob Newhart show, and she'd been a comedian for many moons. But I don't know. I mean, we've spent a bunch of times talking about The Simpsons here, and I remember, Brian, last time we talked about The Simpsons, you mentioned how one of the amazing things was how the ensemble had stuck together and stayed together and had the same cast after this many years, and then this was kind of a sobering reminder of like, well, mortality still happens even in an animated universe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and when they had that chalkboard image for the next new episode where it was Bart at the chalkboard and he's writing, "We'll miss you, Mrs. K."
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness, it really literally put a lump in my throat. I mean, that with Bart with the sort of wobbly, tearful expression and everything, it's so weird. I mean, it's a show we've talked about this a lot, but I haven't watched the newer episodes. So I mean, I guess apparently that character was like dating Ned Flanders. It's like,
She's
well,
married to Ned. She was married to Ned Flanders.
Oh, really? Yes. I mean, to me, it's like her and Skinner
Wait,
forever.
what?
You know what I mean? Right. Like Team Skinner, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, for as silly as it sounds, I mean, she really, Miss Krabappel, as much as I love that show, I feel, I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I feel like I knew her, like, because that's not true. But she was a very fleshed out, lovable character.
Right.
And her and Bart's relationship was something that was very palpable. They're sort of like love-hate relationship. And it genuinely makes me sad.
Yeah.
And I don't get super sad, when you hear about famous people passing very often, because I mean it's a sad thing, but I don't know them, but I do feel a little bit more connected, I guess, with Marsha Wallace than I do with some other people.
And it's worth pointing out that the producers have said they're going to retire the characters, so Mrs. Krabappel will pass away with Marsha Wallace. And I this is something that The Simpsons has done in the past. They did it with the Phil Hartman characters, Lionel Hutz and what's his name, Troy McClure. But this is going to be harder to do because she's a much more integral character to this to the thrust of the show,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious how they're going to pull it off, because I mean, she's married to Ned Flanders, right? So that's
I haven't been watching it recently, so I guess I didn't realize just how much she was plugged into the show. 'Cause in my head, she's just a teacher, and whenever you show Bart in class, I don't know who his teacher is going to be anymore. But
my understanding is that the producers paired her and Flanders, and they actually let viewers vote on whether they would stay together.
Mm.
And viewers voted to keep them together. They were Nedna. Yeah, so that's a real thing. Yeah. So very sad to hear about that, and I'm assuming it would be another year or so before they addressed it on the show because the show is made like a year in advance, right? Other news.
I just want to mention real
what's
quick.
That,
I just want to mention how fortunate we are that The Simpsons hit us at the perfect time in our lives.
Yeah,
like we're very fortunate to be that age and impressionable like that, and just to sort of grow up with those characters and that version and that sort of golden era of the show.
Part of the reason that we are friends is because of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we spoke a similar language.
We speak well, and I say this in my class, right? How I text you guys random Simpsons quotes, and I know that you're gonna get what I'm saying, even though it's the most arbitrary, random thing, but it's from some episode that we all just know,
Do you guys think The Simpsons is our force? Is it the force that connects us and binds us? And
yeah, it's true.
I'd be willing to admit that off the air. Sure.
Off the air. Too late.
No. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I mean, it's funny because I'm sure this sounds completely crazy to like people who do not relate at all. But yeah, honestly, I mean, yeah, it really has become sort of like a language and a mode of thinking. It really has, like, just sort of a sense of intake of comedy and perspective.
Well, it's like the fact that I can go.
I thought it was a hummingbird.
Yeah,
and you start laughing hysterically.
Yep.
That's proof positive. So here's to Marsha Wallace. Here's to Mrs. Krabappel. She will be missed.
Indeed.
But
here.
But what a run she had. And when you think about it, by the way, she was 70. She started that gig when she was in her 40s. I mean, think about that. Talk about job security.
Wow.
I mean, that's really that when you put it in that perspective, that's something too.
Yeah.
So other news. This is something that just broke earlier today. They're doing another Bourne movie, not a Jason Bourne movie because Matt Damon has made clear that he's not interested in coming back. But they're continuing with Aaron Cross.
He's got to make more movies about fracking.
That's that's right.
Does anyone understand that? No, you don't, because you didn't see that movie.
I think Eric Bana, Drew Barrymore, and they were the only ones who went to see that one too. So It's very sad.
Man, those guys, stand-up people. They support people's work.
Supporting. The Bourne Legacy came out in 2012. That was directed by Tony Gilroy. It starred Aaron. Excuse me. It featured Aaron Cross, the new character played by Jeremy Renner. So they're continuing the Bourne franchise with Aaron Cross. Now, they had announced a sequel a while ago, and I was like, I could not begin to care because I just was not interested in that film. Really? I mean, did you guys ever see The Bourne Legacy?
I didn't see it. It's on like HBO or something right now. I could totally watch it. I will not.
and I feel bad because I like Jeremy Renner.
No, I like Jeremy Renner. It's probably an all right movie, but it's just so low on the priority. You know what I mean? Like, if I have time to watch something, it's like, okay, well, I want to see this, I want to see this. Like, I just don't feel like there's anything that I have not seen that it will display to me.
Yeah. Well, and I said this to you guys like way back when it first came out. My issue with it was how it was trying to have it both ways by having Jason Bourne, but not really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole movie is like, Jason Bourne is around the corner. And so right away you're like, I want to look around the corner. But the camera pulls you in the opposite direction. You're like, no. And I mentioned to you before, the Raymond Burr, the Perry Mason movies that they did after Raymond Burr died.
Right.
That's what this is. Oh, Perry Mason's out to lunch, but, I'll take your case. I'm Jimmy from the other law firm down the hall, So I was uninterested in this. What has me interested is that Universal has signed Justin Lin to direct the next Aaron Cross Jason Bourne movie.
Which is interesting because he's a little more flashy.
Yeah.
Whereas those movies are a little scrappy.
Flashy and scrappy sounds like a really bad Cartoon Network
it sounds like
series.
a fun cartoon.
Flashy is like Shaggy's exhibitionist cousin. And Scrappy is Scrappy. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Justin Lin, who I honestly, he was not really on my radar as a great filmmaker, and I don't think he's necessarily a great filmmaker, but I think he's an interesting filmmaker, and he managed to turn around the Fast and Furious movies. So him doing this has me saying, I'm curious to see what they do with that,
Some good set pieces, definitely.
Justin Lin had been attached to do the next Terminator movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And as far as I know, he's dropped out of that, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, man. I cannot remember the guy who's doing it now, but it's like a Game of Thrones director.
That's right. It's we talked about this
later.
Yeah. What?
I said,
is it Alan
we'll get
Taylor?
to that later.
Oh, it is Alan Taylor. Is it Alan Taylor?
Ugh.
Oh, is it really? Oh. Well, I'll be damned.
It is Alan Taylor. So we'll okay. So Sean, hold your bile for a few more minutes, if you don't mind. Okay. So that's Justin Lin not doing Terminator, is doing Jason Bourne. Other big news this week, and we're leading up to the big Marvel Studios news, but before that, Hugh Jackman had been talking about no longer playing Wolverine. He said that he might drop out after he does the next X-Men movie, but he's apparently signed on for another Wolverine, the Wolverine 2. The Wolverine again.
Wolverine harder.
Wolverinier.
Well, this would be Wolverine 3, right?
Well, I think everyone involved has agreed to just ignore the Wolverine origin movie. Now, what makes this interesting to me is that they've got James Mangold involved as well, who directed and wrote the previous film, the one that just came out, and so they clearly want to take that particular sort of sub-franchise in its own little direction, where it's much more sedate, I guess, and more reserved. Now, Sean, you never ended up watching the Wolverine, correct?
Correct.
They have a 3-hour director's cut coming out.
Never going to see it.
What?
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I'm interested in seeing that because I feel like the director's cut would be better than what we got.
I would like to see that too, actually. I really enjoyed Wolverine, so.
Yeah. And Brian, I think we talked about how it kind of fell apart a little bit near the end.
Yeah. It seems to be the universal consensus that most people seem to like the first 2/3 quite a bit, and then it just kind of turns into something sort of average in the end. But that was a good movie.
I
liked it.
I think that it's solid to the extent that I would be interested. Let me put it this way: I'm more interested in the 3-hour cut of Wolverine than I am in the 3-hour cut of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I received the extended edition of The Hobbit in the mail this week, and I opened it up, and I was just kind of like, like I just do not have it in me, you know.
Dude, the theatrical cut had a real time scene of dishwashing.
Well, the extended edition has the prologue to the prologue, which is Bilbo filling his inkwell. He actually squeezes the fruits and ferments the ink and then pours it into the inkwell, waits for it to dry.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah.
In 48p or whatever it is.
I mean, you know, we've talked about this, and I just... The hubris involved in taking a 300-page book and turning it into a 9-hour movie. to me,
you know what?
That
The
takes
Hobbit,
big
we've
brass
talked
ones.
about it already.
Yeah.
I can't even say first act. I'm sure that movie has 5 acts. But the first 40 minutes of that movie, really, really dull.
Yeah.
But after that, a lot of fun.
Well, that's my problem, is that I actually dozed off in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I nearly
almost
passed
turned
out
it
and threw
off.
up. Yeah.
I watched a screener of it, and my brother and I, we were like, and that's the only reason we kept going is because it's cool, we got a screener, you know. And then that's what kept us going. And then by the end, we're like, oh, that was fun. So it's a slow start, but it is fun.
Now, Sean, you did not see it.
Nope.
Well, I think you
What a
should,
surprise.
But I
I
know
blacked it out for you.
you
This is going to be a special 4-hour podcast.
Before the new one comes out, you should plan to watch it. I mean,
No, I'm good.
just set aside like 45 minutes a day, and you'll get it done in like 3 weeks. I mean, it's not. It's funny to me because, and we'll talk about this more when the second one comes out, I'm sure. But like, to me, it's like the story of the Hobbit. The whole point is it's not supposed to be of the same scale as Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Right.
The whole point is you know, if you were to and full disclosure, I haven't read the books, but The Hobbit, the whole point is it's kind of this smaller story set in this world, and you're like, oh, that's nice. And then you read the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this world is so much more expansive than I thought.
Right.
And I think that's the appeal, right? And I think when you do stuff like this, where you turn a book into a trilogy, it almost like cheapens the actual trilogy. I don't know if that makes sense.
Quite true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sort of like what we talked about last time, right?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. so anyway,
Look it up.
sorry, tangent. The Wolverine director's cut. I'm curious about seeing that. I'm also pretty happy that Jackman is going to come back. This will be his 8th time playing Wolverine. 8th time.
Wow.
So I think that would give him the record for like any actor playing this kind of a role like ever. Right? Because
Wow.
Roger Moore played James Bond 7
Wait,
times.
no, how many times did Paul
3.
Hogan play Crocodile Dundee?
That would be 3. But you know, as the Onion mentioned earlier this week, Paul Hogan is still looking for that one iconic role that he's identified with. So it's sad. I hope that works out for him. By the way, Sean, you'll be happy to know that Linda Kozlowski is single now.
Yep.
So
Well aware.
of course that.
I should throw out there, too, if anyone's interested in this sort of thing, there's an excellent podcast called How Did This Get Made? And they do an episode for Crocodile Dundee in L.A.,
Okay.
and they bring the screenwriter in.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
And
Okay.
he talks about the movie, what it was like to write that movie for an hour. And it's really interesting.
So is he just dogging on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, this guy who wanted to be a screenwriter, and they're like, look, Paul Hogan wants to make another Crocodile Dundee. You're just going to write it, he's going to tell you what he wants. You're going to write it. And he's like, okay, sure. And it's a pretty fascinating listen, actually.
That movie came out in either 2000 or 2001. I find it astonishing that in 2000 or 2001, Paul Hogan was able to get somebody on board with another. Like, that makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
At all. Makes no sense. Anyway, speaking of Marvel properties, a big news broke yesterday, and this is intriguing, if nothing else. Marvel, via Disney, has signed a deal with Netflix to bring 4 of their properties to Netflix as original TV series, 13-episode TV series, which will then culminate in a team-up miniseries. So they're essentially applying sort of the Avengers formula with solo projects leading up to a team-up with their smaller street-level characters. So you've got Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones, each of whom will have 13 episodes, and then that'll lead up to a team-up.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I have so many things to say about this. First of all, I don't know who Jessica Jones is, but she's getting a 13-episode series.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they believe in it.
Right.
And I'm sure it's probably going to be pretty good. It's just my guess. But at the same time, think about this. Like a year ago, or I guess a little bit more than that, Netflix was like in the crapper. I mean, people like were going to... What was it? I mean, they were going to... they were doing the disc. They were going to send you the discs, and they were going to do the streaming, and then which was awesome. And then all of a sudden they decided they're going to turn it into 2 separate business... Well, not businesses,
they raised
but
the prices
subscriptions.
without telling anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then you were going to have to pay for both, and everybody got upset. Their stock dropped. It turned into this total sort of fiasco. And my brother actually came to me and was like, should I invest in Netflix right now when the stock was down? And I was like, Dan, oh, man, I honestly have no idea. And who would have thought they would become – I mean, I think I had just read it was about a week ago. They surpassed HBO in subscriptions. So, I mean, Netflix is HBO now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, too, is as they've branched out into making series, there are 2 series that they've had more than that, but the 2 that people have actually watched are actually really, really good. So, I don't know. I think this is something to be interested in. We'll see.
I just wonder why they picked these characters. I mean, maybe it's just because I don't follow these particular characters as much as some of the other ones, but like, I don't know. It feels like Marvel has such a vast universe of characters to sort of pluck from, and I don't know, like why? Like Brian said, like he doesn't know who Jessica Jones is, so like why pick her and why pick Iron Fist? Why pick Luke Cage? Like, is there really going to be a demand for this stuff?
Well, here's my guess. I mean, I think that they want to save kind of the big, sort of bigger budget characters for movies.
Sure.
And these are characters with a certain degree of awareness, especially among fans, right? I mean, the fan community knows who Iron Fist is, for example, right?
Right.
Of the 4, probably Daredevil is the most well-known. I think that's a fair assumption.
Mm-hmm.
I am not familiar with him.
Well, there was a 2003 movie.
It's pronounced
Dared Evil. Right. They don't cost much, right? They're street-level characters. And so it kind of makes sense to, as you said, it's like low risk, right? It'll be relatively low budget.
Yeah.
And I think you can cash in on the level of awareness that they have. Plus, you can do darker stories.
Yeah.
Than kind of like you can't the Avengers movies have to be kind of 4-quadrant flicks.
Right.
Right.
And I think with these ones, like, you know, a Luke Cage show could potentially really get into things like racism and, you know, based on the character's origin, you know, prison and whatnot. And that's maybe not as PG as, you know, some of this other stuff, right? And so to some extent, I think they view that it's a way of expanding the studio's presence, right, through the Netflix deal. You're using characters that are somewhat well known, and you're using characters that can be affordably done on a Netflix budget.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious, but I'm not necessarily excited.
Yeah. I would say I think that seems to be the reaction across the board. I don't think anybody's like clamoring for it.
Yeah, I think the idea, the concept of what they're doing is more what fascinates me.
That right, and I think that also is a commonality where people are like us. I mean, it's kind of new, it's kind of revolutionary, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what I've been saying this for a while, but I think this kind of deal makes it even more clear that the comic books at this point have become basically an appendage to the real universe, which is on the screen.
Yeah,
right.
Because, you know, these films are going to be a part of the cinematic universe the same way the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show is, right? And at this point, it really is the tail wagging the dog.
Yeah.
Because, the analogy I always make, it's like, do you know that they still write James Bond novels?
No.
Yeah, there's a new Bond book out every couple of years.
That's crazy.
Right?
Huh.
But that's not the real James Bond, quote unquote. The real James Bond is the one we see in the movie theaters every 3 years.
Right.
Right.
And that's kind of the Marvel universe now, which I think is kind of interesting because obviously, that was never the case before, right? Because the comic books gave us the stories that the movies never could. And that's no longer the case. So kind of interesting, yeah. So I think it's going to be another couple of years, I would expect, or at least 18 months before we see this thing come to fruition. But I'm intrigued, right? I think that's all of us are more intrigued than excited.
Yeah. Well, I'll say real quick too, branching off a little bit, Netflix, in thinking outside of the box in the way that they've talked recently. I don't know if you guys read this about wanting to put theatrical movies on there 30 days after release.
Right.
Which is, I don't know that will ever happen.
My guess
actually, I bet it probably will, but I don't think anytime soon.
And not with high-profile releases.
Right.
That's what iTunes is doing, right?
iTunes what? And yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. It would probably be movies like that, like those video on demand things or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. And of course, then it wouldn't cost $7.99 a month anymore. I imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what everybody's waiting for. Is like, when is it going to get to the point where
Yeah.
they have to start justifying their expenses? And
Yeah, I don't even think about paying for Netflix. Like, it's on automatic payment. It's like $7.
Yeah.
I don't even consider it like I even pay for it. It just is. It's so cheap, for what I get. So
yeah.
I actually got my Netflix membership through Brian, or because of Brian.
yeah.
Yeah, because
And mine was a gift also. So it's funny.
There you go, paying it forward.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which is a great movie, by the way.
Not really.
I'm totally kidding. You know what's funny is that I actually in my speech classes I talk about ethos, pathos, and logos, and I talk about how pathos pathos is using emotion to persuade, right? And I was like, if you overdo emotion, it becomes bathos, and it's sort of toxic. And I always use pay it forward as an example.
Pay it forward. Be nice.
Yeah. I was like, be good to each other, pay it forward, And I have my whole spiel that I do where, talking about, and I spoil the movie and how, because at the end of the movie, Haley Joel Osment gets killed.
Yep.
And how I was like, good. Because it had the opposite reaction on me. I was like, I want to pay it backwards after watching this movie. I want to be bad to people because of this.
I want to take it back.
Yeah,
I want to take it all back.
It had the complete opposite reaction for me. But it's always funny because there's that one or two person who's seen it in the class and they're like, oh, I love that movie. And then I proceed to just demolish their sense of what they like. I'm like, listen, it's okay that you like it. Now, here's why it's a piece of shit, Pay it forward. Be good to each other. Pay it forward. Yeah. Moving on. Speaking of being good to each other, Star Wars news. There is no connection between the two things I just said.
I was just about to be like, huh?
Now, we have a crap ton of Star Wars news, a metric crap ton, if you will. So, Brian, why don't you walk us through all the various and sundry goings-on?
Well, I guess, geez, where do you begin? So, it was originally going to open in May 2015, Star Wars 7.
Now, and was that ever final? Like, was that an official thing, or was that just sort of conjecture?
I feel like it was.
Okay.
I feel like it was. Well, you know what? I guess I can't say May, but summer 2015, I feel like was official. Mm-hmm. And now that's been pushed to December 2015. There was a rumor going around that it was going to be pushed. And it came true. And there's a lot of rumors going around that J.J. Abrams does not feel that's enough. He has enough time. And I don't know. It feels like all those rumors are sort of revealing themselves.
Yeah.
Take all the time you need. Make a good movie.
When I heard that, I was like, good. Yeah. Like, I'll wait till 2016. I don't care. I want a good Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to just do something to do something. I saw on one of the message boards on /film, I actually saved this so I could say this, but one of the top comments, not top rated, but it was at the top, it says, sounds like this movie is being made just to be made.
Right. It's
And I was like, it feels that way. It feels that way, So
Well,
I hope that's not the case. I don't believe J.J. Abrams feels that way, and I don't believe the writers feel that way.
Disney
but it
didn't
feels
buy
like
Star
Disney
Wars.
might be thinking that way.
Disney didn't buy Star Wars not to make Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's what I'd heard. It was that the studio wanted 2015, J.J. Abrams wanted 2016, and they sort of arrived at Christmas of 2015 as sort of a compromise date.
Right.
yeah. So again, I mean, it's a business. It's I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, it's just in your best interest to come up with the best product possible.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
there's a lot riding on this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the kickoff to this whole thing that Disney purchased.
Right.
Like, if this doesn't work, you've tainted all of
Yeah.
it.
Right.
This has to work.
It's sort of, my father-in-law has this saying. It's like when you get if you get a goat turd in a glass of milk.
Go on.
Because goat turds are like little pellets, right? So, like, say
Yeah.
you got a glass of milk, you put a goat turd in there, you're like, oh, crap, goat turd, and you get it out. Well, you're not going to drink that milk.
Right.
You got to throw the milk away. So,
Yeah.
if the first Star Wars sequel is ruined, it's like the goat turd in the glass of milk.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's
And actually, we can reveal this here. That's actually the title of Episode 7. It's the Phantom
So
Goat
wait,
Turd.
did the goat poop in your glass, or did somebody put the poop in there?
did someone place it in there maliciously?
It could go either way. Regardless, you would not drink the milk.
This is true.
We all doesn't matter how we get there. We just know where we are, which is a glass with a goat turd. in
Pussycat.
it. Think about that one. Now,
Well, building off of what
Yeah.
I just said and what we're all talking about here, Arndt. Oh my gosh, I wrote down Arndt. What is his first name?
Michael?
Michael.
Michael, right. I was going to say Michael and it felt wrong. Michael Arndt, who wrote Little Miss Sunshine, Toy Story 3. Now he's writing Star Wars 7.
Not really.
I thought that was a really interesting choice. I was really into that. Seemed like a lot of other people were also. He is now off the movie.
Yeah.
So that's, take that how you will. A lot of people have rushed to the defense of the film saying that Empire Strikes Back was the same way, where they had a first draft that was written by, I think, Lee Brackett. She ended up passing away, though, so that was a little bit different of an instance. But they took that script and ran with it in a completely different direction and came up with what is arguably the best Star Wars film. So now it looks like it's going to be Lawrence Kasdan, who and J.J. Abrams writing it together. And Lawrence Kasdan wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. So that's, I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me.
Is this a lateral move?
It is, because wait. In what way do you mean? What I was going to say was, it sounds like they're not necessarily going to build off of what Arndt had done. I think this is going to involve new characters. This is going to involve new things, not building upon what he started.
Really? Okay. So
Yeah.
they're just going in their own direction, you think?
I imagine, because this is supposed to, what the press release would say, come from a story that Lucas hatched.
Okay.
I mean, he had ideas for these sequels, and it seemed like they were sort of building off of those ideas.
See, this has the potential to blow up in their face, because everybody was all excited about, like, J.J. Abrams is doing Star Wars. It's going to be this new thing now. George Lucas is stepping back.
Yeah.
And now it's like all they're doing is just getting the band back together and trying to recreate the old magic.
But you know what? This is the magic or the formula that worked.
Yeah.
I mean, when Lucas is a great idea, man. You know, he's just not a good closer.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened. He had these ideas and pitched it to Lawrence Kasdan. Lawrence Kasdan made Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And I know people are a little mixed on Jedi. I love Jedi, but I don't know. Even Raiders of the Lost Ark, same way.
I mean, are they doing this just because people like us want the new movies to feel like the old movies?
Well, that's
Is
the
that
only correct way to
reason
do it. I am Brian Hall.
I mean, why? Look, I mean, this movie is going to be this very delicate dance between the new and the old anyway.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And-
I don't think JJ knew. I mean, he knows what he's doing. what he stepped into, but I still don't even think he understands what he stepped into. This is crazy.
He is already like preemptively getting shit piled on by people.
Yeah.
And nothing's even happened yet. So to me, it's about as thankless as it gets. And I wonder if Michael Arndt, part of him isn't. Because I remember somebody did a web video, like it was on Funny or Die or something, where it's Michael
so
Arndt
good.
writing. He's like, all right, sitting down, going to write Star Wars Episode 7. Here we go. How should I start? A long time ago, And he can't get past that because it is literally the most thankless job. And I'm. It's so weird because it's almost like doing a Star Wars sequel is so much harder than doing a Star Wars prequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because with the prequels, you have a general framework to operate in. Like, we as an audience have a set of expectations based on... And Lucas managed to not even meet those expectations, by the way. So that's a whole separate conversation. But, I mean, we have a general sense. This is a bold new frontier. Not the final frontier. That's a different franchise. But, I mean, geez, thankless, right?
Yeah.
Now, talking of sort of bringing in the old, there's also word about Harrison Ford having sealed his deals, finalized his deal.
Well, what's interesting is Harrison Ford. Was that you, Zaki, who posted some Onion article?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
About Harrison Ford. Gosh, that was so funny. Basically about just like how sad.
Harrison Ford tells
He
his
is now.
agents, just let me die.
Just let me die. Yeah. And before they'll let him die, they're like, yeah, but quick, just read this script about the Cold War where you'll play this general. And it ends with Harrison Ford being like, all right, I'll take a look. Or something like that.
And that's how he starred in Ender's Game.
But anyway, yeah, so Harrison Ford apparently had a set of stipulations before he agreed to do Star Wars Episode 7, which, interestingly, I thought the most interesting one, well, actually they're all interesting, but the first one was that he would have approval over Han Solo's arc.
Right.
Which is kind of fascinating. I mean, they're like, oh, we want him to do this and this and this, and Harrison Ford can be like, no.
Right. Well, but it kind of makes sense, right? I mean...
Well, it's funny because, you could say story approval or, like, script approval or whatever, but he's like... It's not just how things happen. He's in charge of what happens to his character. That's pretty interesting.
But, think about it. From his point of view... Now, he's made no secret of the fact that he's not a big fan of Han Solo.
Right.
He wanted him to die at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So, not a big fan. So... He's worth more to Star Wars than Star Wars is worth to him.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the very definition of a paycheck gig for him.
Right.
Right. Now, granted, this is the same guy who signed on to do Expendables 3, so maybe he needs the money more than we thought. But regardless, he's in a position where, let's face it, they really are going to want to have Han Solo in this movie.
Yeah.
So that puts him in a position where he's like, well, fine, make it worth my while, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, building on what you just said, his other condition, when you talk about him not being fond of the Han Solo character, apparently he is fond of the Indiana Jones character because one of his other stipulations was that Lucasfilm, which I guess Disney now owns, must make significant, meaningful strides toward Indiana Jones 5.
Right.
That was a stipulation for him doing Star Wars 7. So that's pretty interesting.
So now, what do you take from that? Like, because we've talked about this before. Should he just let it go at this point?
Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I really, really want to see them make up for number 4, but at the same time, I realize that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a good idea.
He's not frozen in amber. You know what I mean? He's 70, I believe, right? He's 70 plus at this point.
Yeah.
I really don't this is like Rocky 6 at this point where you're like, you should not be doing this stuff.
Yeah, it sucks to think that way, but it's true. It is true. It is true. You're just not going to recreate it. You're not.
Yeah.
So when we learned that, and so let's just leave it. It's not, Crystal Skull's not a horrible movie. I don't like it. It's not a great movie, but it is what it is. Let it be. Just don't keep making mediocre movies,
So this has the potential. This has the potential to be like Marlon Brando and the cat in that scene from The Godfather. He wouldn't do the scene without the cat. Remember that?
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, he apparently, for people who know the story, I guess Marlon Brando found this stray cat or something and refused to do the scene without the cat in the scene or something.
Yeah, and then they had to loop all of his dialogue because they had to figure out how to pull his audio out because the cat kept purring and making noises, and it was just a big mess.
So Han Solo's going to have a talking squirrel with him
instead of Chewie.
Yeah.
That's his other request. No Chewbacca. Rocky the squirrel will be his sidekick in this one. Now, when just real brief tangent. Now, Harrison Ford was in Ender's Game. I just mentioned this, and that was kind of meant to be this new franchise. Doesn't look like it's going to end up being that because I read that Lionsgate might just do a TV series. Mm-hmm. And I want to say I take a certain amount of pleasure in the fact that movie's not doing well. Not because it's not a good movie, because I hear it's okay, but the author of the book that it's based on is Orson Scott Card, who you guys are familiar with. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Now Orson Scott Card has had some issues in the press because he's made homophobic comments in the past and sexist comments, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. My beef with Orson Scott Card, this is true, is that he actually wrote a review of Geek Wisdom on for his website or for some newspaper online.
Wow.
Which you are an author of.
Which I'm the co-author of. We mentioned that in the last episode. And he tore the book a new one.
Shut
really?
up. I did not know this.
Oh, yeah. He took a giant steamer on this book.
Wow.
Yeah. But the best part is that he implies that I don't exist.
Interesting.
In his
What?
Well, he basically, because the book has an editor, right?
Yeah.
And then
who I met. Very nice guy.
Exactly, that's right. So the book is credited, it's edited by so-and-so, and then it says commentary by X, Y, and Z. So he reviews the book, he just tears it apart, and then he says, it says Steven Seagal is the editor. He's not the editor, he wrote it. As if, we don't exist.
Huh.
Okay.
It's the weirdest thing.
Where did he put this review? Who cares?
If you Google Orson Scott Card and Geek Wisdom, it'll come up. It says right here. I'm pulling this up here. Siegel, parenthetical, who didn't, quote, edit the book, he wrote it, reports that he grew up essentially without religion, yet he found a moral code, a guide to life, and quotations from movies that he watched and books he read as he was growing up. Now, and then, he lists some of the quotes, right? Fear is the mind killer, fear is the little death. That's from Dune. If my doctor told me I had only 6 minutes to live, I wouldn't brood. I'd type a little faster. That's from Asimov, and that's actually an essay that I wrote for the book. But he says that I did not write it. That Steven Seagal wrote it.
Dude, I was with you when you wrote that.
That's
literally.
Right. That's right.
You were I was in the room with you.
I exist, Orson. So he says, Siegel's commentary rarely plumbs the depths of their possibilities. On the contrary, he frequently trivializes them as if instead of exploring the philosophy of the quotes, he's commenting on them to friends at a party. Maybe I have smarter friends than his, but I can't imagine starting with all this great material and getting no better conversation out of it than Siegel's. So is the book worth buying? For me, the collection of quotations is worth the price, even if I regard the commentary as pretty much worthless.
Remember Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah.
What was the name of the
Yes.
douchey kid? What was his handle on Movie Poop Shoot?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
know
either.
what you're
The
talking
kid
about.
that they go to the house and punch him in the face or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, that's this guy.
So I'm taking...
Damn, this guy is so full of hate.
I know. Forget all the homophobia and all that stuff, which is bad. What about this?
He gave my book a bad review.
Yeah, that bastard.
son
I
of a
exist, Orson. So I take a little bit of I believe it's called Schadenfreude.
Yes.
I take a little bit of Schadenfreude with Orson's fall from grace there. Sorry, and I
I had
apologize.
no idea. That's a crazy story, Zaki.
It's a true thing. Here's the time Orson Scott Card shit in my mouth. Here you go. Go to this link right there. Now, Brian, you forwarded me. I thought this was interesting. The footage that redeems the cut footage that redeems Obi-Wan Kenobi in Return of the Jedi.
So, okay, I won't spend too much time on this, but
Well, I think this is funny because this has been my contention for many, many moons
for
now.
a very long time, there's a whole. I won't even get into that. But anyway, this has been a thing with Zaki for a very long time. That Obi-Wan is a dick. He's a liar, and he's the real villain of the Star Wars trilogy. Exaggerating a little bit, but so
Just barely.
just barely. So there was in the early '80s an editing system that Lucas was trying to push forward, and the way that he stored the media for this editing system was on a laser disc. So at some sort of whatever you call it, convention or show where he was trying to show off this editing system, he had this disc made that had one scene from Return of the Jedi, the scene where Yoda and Luke are in the hut and Yoda passes away. So he had all the raw footage of this scene on this Laserdisc. Editing software went nowhere, and this disc showed up on eBay recently, and a big Star Wars fan bought it for like $700. And he started a Facebook page, which I don't have in front of me right now, but I will pimp it because I thought it was really cool that he did it. I'll look it up real quick. But what he did was he started parsing out all the footage that was on it. Okay, it's ROTJ Edit Droid. So basically like Return of the Jedi Edit Droid on Facebook. And anyway, so he started putting out these like 2-minute clips of all the footage. And they're pretty interesting because, again, it's dailies. So Yoda will say something and they'll yell cut, and then you hear Frank Oz like, my back is killing me, you know? And, and then Yoda will be sitting some way. It looks kind of weird, and the director will be like, Yoda, put your head up. And then he puts his head up, and you're like, then he looks like a person, or it looks like a live thing. You're like, oh, wow. So it's pretty interesting footage. But the most interesting footage that came out of it was a line that was cut from the movie where Yoda basically says to Luke that he told Obi-Wan not to tell Luke about who his father was. So Obi-Wan withheld Darth Vader actually being Luke's father because Yoda wanted him to. So immediately when I saw this footage, I sent it to Zaki and was like, see?
All this proves is that Yoda, too, is a dick. Right.
Anyway.
Well, the whole thing. I mean, just to contextualize this, really, but the broader point I'm trying to make is that people who say, "Oh, see, Lucas had it all planned out and all that," I was like, "Look, that's all nonsense. He was making it up as he went." And as proof positive, I say, "Look, when Luke says, 'Hey, what happened to my father?' or 'How did my father die?' Obi-Wan, instead of being like, 'Oh, he died in an accident or whatever,' he's like, no. He was betrayed and murdered by Darth Vader. Well, that's a horrible thing to say to this kid, because what you've basically done is turned him into a guided missile that you're sending him toward your own personal mistake. Right? So this is what I mean by Obi-Wan being the evil master planner, right? So he's like, I screwed up with Anakin. That's the one shame I have. So I'm going to take this kid, manipulate him into cleaning up the mess that I made. Right? And then what makes it so much worse is when Luke is like, dude, why didn't you tell me? Instead of being like, yeah, Luke, sorry, man. I mean, how could I tell you? No, he's like, hey, why didn't you figure it out? From a certain point of view, I was right. It's like, dude, that's so much worse.
That is a terrible line. What I told you was true from a certain point of view.
That's horrible.
No, it wasn't.
Hitler might have been a nice neighbor from a certain point of view. You're a father of falsehood. Right now, I'm quoting Brian doing me in a video that he made where he was imitating.
Let's keep explaining.
Yeah, okay. I didn't. We're going down into this is like the footnote of the footnote. Yeah. So for my 30th birthday, Sean and Brian were very nice, and they put together this like 10-minute video where Brian and Sean took turns playing me at various turns in my life. So they reenacted a scene where I'm in the classroom. It was played by Brian, and I was explaining to my students how Obi-Wan is the real villain of the Star Wars saga. And that video, if you become Facebook friends with me, you'll be able to see that. So there we go. Incentive for me to have Facebook friends. All right. And very briefly, while we're talking Star Wars, I wanted to toss out a plug for the Making of Return of the Jedi book, which is out right now. This is the third book in a series of these. I mean, they've put them out to coincide with the 30th anniversary of each film. So we had one in 2007, we had one in 2010, and then right now in 2013. And these are the final word on everything you need to know about how these things were made. Just riveting. And it doesn't matter what you think you know about these films, to see it laid out this way is just amazing. I mean, I cannot recommend these books enough.
I mean, yeah, if you're more than just a casual fan of these films, like if you're like a fan of these movies, highly recommended. I mean, they're comprehensive. They're really, and they're so big they almost feel overwhelming, but they are not. Like as soon as you start flipping through it, I mean, you get sucked in. It's all like chronological, basically. From when it was a germ of an idea to the writing process. They have like a transcription of a story meeting between Lucas and Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting
stuff. It's really. Did you get the Return of the Jedi one, Brian?
This is a thing with a real good friend of mine, Chad. And I basically for Christmas, when those books come out, we buy them for each other.
Okay.
So we already know what we're getting each other for Christmas, and basically his came in the mail, and I started thumbing through it.
Yeah, I think the three of us are Star Wars fans, but I think we're more fans on like the behind the scenes side than the like. I don't think we're as much plugged into like the expanded universe and all that stuff, right?
No.
I don't particularly have an interest in that, but the journey of how these films were made is endlessly fascinating to me.
Man, I just that story meeting alone is so fascinating. I mean, Lucas is like throwing out these ideas that you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then Lawrence Kasdan will be like, well, what if it's like this? And that's what's in the movie. You're like, wow.
Yeah, well, that's why Kasdan being involved with the new film has me feeling actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a lot of the good stuff came from him.
And you know what? To be honest, same with Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's a whole transcription out there you can find if you Google it.
That's right.
Of a story meeting for Raiders. And Spielberg and Lucas are just these like total idea guys. They're like, and what if there's a thing and like a boulder? And they have these like really interesting ideas. And then Kasdan's like, yeah, but what if Marion is like his mentor's daughter? And he comes up with all these really great ideas. You're like, wow, like he really shaped that movie.
And you realize how they just kind of ran out of gas with the fourth one. Because Lucas is like, what if they're interdimensional aliens?
And Kasdan was like, get away from me.
Well, I think it was David Koepp who wrote it, right? So I think he was just like,
well, I don't want Spielberg to defriend me on Facebook, so.
That's right.
Because I have to write this.
And by the way, actually, to that point, there's another. It's by the same author, J.W. Rinsler, who did the Star Wars books. He also did a Making of Indiana Jones book. And this came out, I think, back when Crystal Skull came out, I believe.
Yes.
But really worth checking out. Really. So we have our big feature discussion for the week, which we're chomping at bits to get to. But very, very quickly, I want to make sure that we also discuss some trailers that will tie into this conversation and that we missed in our last episode. So let's talk up some trailers. First of all, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. We got our first look at that. Let's go ahead and play the audio first.
Look out the window. You know how the game works. Disorder, war. All it takes is one step.
We're going to neutralize a lot of threats before they even happen.
Thought the punishment usually came after the crime.
S.H.I.E.L.D. takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be.
This isn't freedom. This is fear.
You need to keep both eyes open.
Okay, so I'll say right up top, this movie cannot arrive soon enough for me.
It looks cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It looks really awesome. And I love how it seems to be taking things in a much darker direction. Mm-hmm. But I'm also wary because they've promised darker before with these Marvel movies, and they've not delivered.
You know, I feel with all the Marvel movies, I'm going to see them.
Yeah.
You know, like, you have me. I'm going. But, like, I don't feel like I anticipate them. You know, like, I'm not, like, Star Wars. Maybe it's just getting older, too, because I can't necessarily say I'm counting down the hours to Star Wars either, even though that's probably my most anticipated movie of 2015.
Even though there is a countdown clock already online for that.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, like 2 years.
I'm sure J.J. Abrams, like anyone who hates him, should just like put that on their phone and put it over like his head every time he walks by. But yeah, no, I just felt, I don't know that I had the same as enthusiastic response as you guys did. I was just like, okay, cool, like I'll be there, you know. But it wasn't something like, aw, snap.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's see what's going to happen here. Like, I kind of have a feeling I know what's in store.
Yeah. Well, Sean, what did you think?
I thought it was really cool. I had just recently reread those the Ed Brubaker Winter Soldier trades that I guess this is pretty much based off of. Yeah, I was curious after the first one because, you know, like, there's this cool sort of vintagey style about the first movie because of when it takes place that I was worried, like, you know, is present day Captain America just going to feel like just kind of like a generic action movie, and is it going to be silly because he's this guy who runs around in a costume? But, like, I thought the costume looked cool. I thought, you know, what they showed of the action sequences looked cool. I liked they do give away, if you pay attention, it feels like they give away a lot of plot points, a lot of
very
things
much so,
given away in the trailer.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie as Falcon looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, who most recently came off of Community.
Community, right.
Yeah, so good for them.
Yeah, you know, what got me sort of what you know, we were talking earlier this episode about how the comics have really become subordinate to the films. For me, this film demonstrates that because the whole Winter Soldier concept is less than 10 years old.
Yeah,
it originated in the comics, and the movie people were like, "All right, we're going to make this." Right, so you realize how all the comics are at this point is a content farm for the films. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that as necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I haven't read the comics in a long time. I know Paul Shirey is still very much plugged into that.
Yeah.
And you know, he says there's good stuff being made. I mean, I can't speak to that, but it's irrelevant. I mean, this is the real universe.
And if you go to the website, there's, I don't know if it's still playing now, but there's a snippet from Henry Jackman's score for the film.
Oh yeah, I heard, I didn't hear it, but I heard that was there. Does it sound? I love Henry Jackman.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool. It sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of just like a dark, a lot of dark tones and everything. But his First Class score was awesome, and that's sort of like, you know, that gives him sort of like a free pass. Like whenever he's got a new soundtrack coming out, I'll give it a listen.
You know what it needs more of though? That's Brian. You sent me that the link to the Inception sound thing.
Well, that was really
this
funny,
one,
by the way.
Dude, I've been doing that all day. And did you see the article that Hans Zimmer is sick of that now?
Yeah. Yes.
He inflicted that on us, and now, although he didn't really, right?
Not what everybody I think is actually quoting. No, that was oh crap. What was that guy's name? Zach Hemsey.
You made.
He wrote a track for the trailer specifically that featured the. And I think that's what most people. And I mean, when you watch like World War Z or all those other movies, I think that's what they're aping, not necessarily the Inception score. Which, by the way, the Inception score is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
itself.
weird that noise, Brian, I think you said this, is like the most defining like musical thing to emerge in the past like 5 years.
I mean, every movie does it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's very odd.
So.
Another Marvel trailer dropped right after Captain America, and I'm wondering if this was Fox trying to steal some of their thunder. And it's the trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past, or more specifically, it's the teaser trailer. Let's drop in some audio for that very quickly, and then let's talk about it. Okay, here's the real audio.
So, I wake up in my younger body, and then what?
Find me. Convince me of all of this. It's going to take the two of us.
And where do I find you?
A different path. A darker path. Logan, I was a very different man. Be patient with me.
Patience isn't my strongest suit.
Okay, so Brian, what do you think of the trailer for this one here?
Needs more Brahm.
See, that's when
No,
you should have dropped it in.
I actually feel bad because it's a little bit late at night, and my roommate, I think, is sleeping in the other room.
Oh. It'd be funny if you're like messing with his dreams because without realizing it.
Yeah. He's like, I just realized I need to forgive my father. X-Men. I thought this looked interesting. I mean, this is another one of those things where I don't think the trailer is going to sell me on this movie. Like, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, there's nothing... Like, if they showed me a cool action sequence, that's not going to convince me. And they show me a really great dramatic sequence, that's not going to convince me. Like, I'm going to go because I'm interested. And I like this universe. And it's interesting because this trailer was a little more dramatic than it was action-heavy.
Yeah.
But that appeals to me.
Yeah,
so.
you know, what's interesting to me, like when I first heard that Bryan Singer was going to be directing this, I was like, oh, cool, all right, I'm glad to have him come back. And yet, it's almost like it's been decided in the interim that Bryan Singer sucks and we hate him.
I stand by it.
Yeah. I mean, is that because of Superman?
Possibly. Or Sean, why is that?
And I said this when Matthew Vaughn left the project and Bryan Singer took over again.
Right.
I just like Bryan Singer's he's a competent director. Like, he knows how to, put a movie together.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he has like a style. I don't think he has like there's no pizzazz, no moxie, no something about like the way he composes a shot. And I think for something like this, like in an X-Men movie, you have a bunch of really different, really exciting, really interesting characters. And for this story specifically, it's supposed to be really epic. And I don't think Bryan Singer has it in him to make something that is epic.
See, it's interesting because I feel like, I don't know that I would attribute the word epic to him, but I do feel like the first two films did. It's not like, I'm trying to think of who. I don't know. I don't know why. I can only think of Spielberg. That's the worst example possible. But like, where you can see someone's movie and know who made it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Singer has that necessarily, but at the same time, I do feel like he does have style. I don't know that he has a voice,
but, you know what,
but
though,
I do
Brian?
feel like he has style.
With Singer, I don't think he necessarily has an authorial voice, but when he isn't making it. If that, that something is off about the third X-Men movie.
Yeah, and I don't mean to just poop on that movie, the third one, but like when you look at the first two, I mean, I feel like we always talk about like off the air stuff, just us as friends and movie fans. We always miss the way that movies, action films in particular, used to look. I mean, you look at Die Hard, and you look at even like Speed, which is like several years later. I mean, they just had this confident look to them.
Right.
And they sucked you in, and I don't know, those directors knew what they were doing. They knew how to compose a shot. And it feels like people now just sort of point a camera.
Yeah.
And I feel like Singer, to me, in those earlier X-Men films, and even in Superman, say what you will about the story, like I feel like he knows how to compose a shot.
I don't think he has the overall like complete vision to tackle this grandiose superhero world.
Yeah, sure.
Like I think and perfect example is that he's got frickin' John Ottman doing the score for this next movie.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And that's like, I mean, I know they're bros or whatever, but like, a score like a superhero score, especially for this massive, billion whatever character X-Men movie. Like this is going to be like the biggest X-Men story ever. Like it's got to feel huge and it's got to feel epic and it's got to feel amazing. And like you're not going to get that from John Ottman.
Right. Well, it's kind that's true. I mean,
That just seems to be the style, though, right now, really.
yeah, there's you said it,
Yeah,
Brian.
who you get? You get Alan Silvestri to score your movie, and you're still going to get that, you know?
And-
Which is
and
kind
by
of
the way,
a shame.
But just like First Class had such a cool. First Class had like a slickness and a coolness and like I don't know, like this just cool graphic style that it felt like it was like a comic book come to life. And we just mentioned it, but like the Henry Jackman score is awesome, and it felt like there was like a theme to X-Men. Like he created an X-Men theme, and it was great and interesting, and supported the movie very well. And already there's just there's just like nothing. It feels like there's nothing special about what's supposed to be arguably one of the most special X-Men stories that was ever told.
Right.
So,
Well, all I'm going to say.
my bar is low.
All I'm going to say is I'm very tired of the Thin Red Line music being used in trailers. I'd like to call a moratorium on that for a little while.
Yeah.
So Captain America comes out in April, and the X-Men is due this summer. So it's a big year for Marvel, but we also have the big new release to talk about this week, which is Thor: The Dark World. So let's go ahead and breach the spoiler wall. Although I'm guessing it will be a spoiler war based on some of your comments earlier.
Well, before we do that, I mean, do you want to just talk about general impressions first and then get into the specifics?
I want to go first.
Okay, Sean, go ahead.
Sean first?
Okay. This is the best way to... This is the best way that I can describe the movie. And I kind of mentioned this to Brian and Dan last night. Okay, imagine a PA, and it's his first day on the job working on Thor. And they come to him and they're like, okay, Timmy, there's 3 versions of the script here. Version 1, this is the old version. Just drop this in the shredder on your way out. Version 2, this is like the practical joke. It's Kevin Feige's birthday. We're just gonna it's just a joke we're playing on him. It's like a fake script. He's gonna think it's real, but it's just fake. Version 3, this is the actual script that needs to go to the set. This is what they're gonna make the movie from. So Timmy's carrying the scripts, and then oh geez, he trips and papers go flying everywhere, and he's just grabbing random pieces of paper and whatever he put back together. That's the movie they made.
Wait.
Okay,
this movie is so confusing, and it doesn't really matter.
Go on.
Well, I don't want to go too far before
go
we
ahead.
breach the wall.
Well, I do. There's specific things, of course, I want to talk about, and we'll say spoiler or whatever. But yeah, go a little bit further. I mean, what
it was entertaining, and I'm not sad that I watched it, but you just realize that like this movie doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you realize it like while you're watching it, you're just like, well, this is cool, and it's cool to see some of these characters back, but like it could be a lot better. It's obvious like they're not going in the direction that it should go or that I want it to go, and it just kind of is what it is. And it was ultimately not bad, but pretty disappointing. And I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I actually was surprised how much I enjoyed the first one because I knew very little about Thor, and I just went because it was part of the Marvel breadcrumbs that was leading up to Avengers, and was totally pleasantly surprised by how fun it had. It had action, it had humor, it had a nice little romance to it. Like it felt different than the other ones, and I really dug it. And this one, I don't think I disliked it as much as Sean, but I did feel a little let down by it. I think because I liked the first one like I did, I was expecting something similar where it would be just a little bit different than the others and be a little bit more character driven.
No.
And what's that?
No, just go on.
No, so and what I walked away with was something that just felt like, man, it really had all the right beats.
Yeah.
I mean, it had like the family drama, it had the romance drama, it had the action stuff going on, but none of it just felt rendered.
Yeah, the pieces
fully.
were there. The pieces were definitely there.
Yeah, all the right pieces were there, but I just feel like it didn't add up to what it could have added up to. I mean, again, to use a script metaphor like Sean was, like, I mean, for people that don't know, I mean, a movie, you don't just write a script to make a movie. I mean, you have 20 drafts before you even start shooting a movie, and then you still keep writing and making more drafts when you're making the movie. And to me, this felt like the 5th draft. Yeah. And it felt like, yeah, it's there. Now we just need to polish this and get it to like a fully realized place, and then we'll be able to start shooting. It just felt like a lot of great ideas that just didn't come together like I know they could have.
It also, to me, sorry to butt in there, but it also felt to me that like I got the impression that Alan Taylor was probably like overwhelmed with tackling, this big Marvel production, because it sort of felt like he just let everybody do kind of whatever they wanted. Like Chris Hemsworth was great because he obviously has fun playing Thor. Tom Hiddleston was awesome because he has fun playing Loki. But it's like Natalie Portman was just sort of like herself. There's all these, there's something that happens to her character that is very important, but also very scary. And she's like smiling through the whole movie. Like you never get a sense of danger or anything from her. Like she's just smiling through the whole movie. Like, oh, whatever. And Kat Dennings is just like, there's way too much of her. Like I can take her or leave her. Like I got no problems with her, but it's just like, a
little less is more with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I feel like the Jane character, Natalie Portman's character, I don't even feel like she felt like a person.
Right.
No.
Well, why don't we carry forward and get into some spoilers? So, for those of you who are listening and you still plan to see it, you probably want to hit pause right now because we're going to get into more detail. If you don't care or you've already seen it, then come on in. Just to give some.
What can we really spoil?
Yeah. Well, there's some details that we can get into that.
You're right.
I want to discuss.
That's true.
And just to give a sense of the plot here, so this is set roughly 2 years after the first Thor film, I believe, with Avengers having been set somewhere in the middle there. And there's chaos in the 9 realms because the Bifrost, which is the portal between the worlds, has been rebuilt. But while it was destroyed, it was just bananas. So Thor has been going across the multiverse or whatnot, laying the smackdown, the hammer of justice. Stop hammer time. That's what he says whenever he shows up.
Proper.
And meanwhile, the ancient dark elf Malekith, who's played by Christopher Eccleston, comes back for because of something that happens. I'm not entirely sure, but he's back and he's angry and wants.
Let's
something.
call him Snoop Blandy Bland.
Perfect. Very true.
He's very bland. I didn't understand what
Yeah.
His goals.
Actually, no, that's not true. I did understand his motivations, but he was just a guy in makeup.
That's the thing. He's played by Christopher Eccleston, who played Doctor Who, and he was also Destro in the first G.I. Joe movie. But honestly, I could have played him because for the amount of stuff he's given to do, which is nothing. The other interesting thing about this is that we have a little bit of a character arc. For the various characters and, an emotional hook. But I think what you said, Sean, about the idea that it feels very inconsequential, I think that's perfectly represented in the fact that we lose a character who we really don't give two shits about.
Mm-hmm.
And that
who we should,
exactly, and that
should have been such a powerful moment.
Well,
we're past the spoiler wall, so we're talking about Thor's mom, I assume.
We're talking about Thor's mom now. She is moving wallpaper in the first film. so the fact that now there and you know what, this actually reminds me of the same problem I had with Iron Man 3, which was that sense of inconsequentiality, right? And maybe guys, this is just the new post-Avengers landscape that all of these non-Avengers movies will feel inconsequential.
It's quite possible.
But you know what? This is what's so weird is like all these superhero movies, you got the Batman, and you got this, and you got whatever else. Like they're all so different that I don't know what I'm supposed to, the mindset I'm supposed to go into these with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I go into Batman, it's like, okay, these are going to be dark and they're going to be really grounded, and you're supposed to sort of take it with this perspective. And then you go into the Marvel movies, and you're like, okay, actually, no, these are really light, and these are kind of zippy and fun, and you're supposed to go with this perspective. So it's like I just don't even know what to measure it against.
Yeah, no, that's
you know what I mean.
That's a good point, and I think, I think part of it for me, like, I said this with Iron Man 3. I was like, dude, kill off Happy Hogan,
Right.
Add some weight to this. But then you realize that, well, you do that, then you rob future films of that character.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So when you think about it, like, does Rene Russo not being in Thor 3 really affect the grand scheme of things? No. Right?
No, but it should affect the people around her.
I
Right.
And like, I think this is what I'm trying to say is, like, again, you could be like, well, who cares? Like, it was his mom, you didn't really know her, and it's just it's about Thor stopping this bad guy. It's like,
Right.
yeah, all right, like, okay, like, it could be that. But at the same time, it felt like the movie wanted me to really be invested in that moment.
Yeah.
And it did not earn that moment at
totally
all.
Well,
and I could see where someone, just real quick, I want to say, I could see where someone could be like, well, dude, like, you're being too hard on it, you're expecting too much of what it is. And it's like, maybe? I don't know. Like, but at the same time, I feel like the movie did want me to have that moment. So it's like, just you got to earn it.
Well, and that's what I mean. Think about it. If they killed off Odin, played by Anthony Hopkins, we would have felt it.
Yes.
And that's
more likely.
More likely, right? And that's because of the relationship we've built with him from the previous film, which would have made it more emotional. But then you realize, well, then that puts us at a disadvantage for the future films because we need Odin, right?
Yes.
So to me, it's like, okay, that to me clarifies what the goal is with these films. It's about static equilibrium, right? It's about changing the window dressing without changing too much.
Right.
So now I get it. These are the James Bond movies.
But there are so many, like, Shakespearean elements that this movie sort of has, like, the framework for. Like, their love story. Like, she's from Earth. He's, like, they're from two different worlds. The relationship isn't supposed to work. Like, he moves heaven and earth to, to save her. Like, there just should have been more to that. Like, it's like Romeo and Juliet. Like, there are two people that shouldn't be together that want to be together. And there was no power in their relationship. I didn't feel, I wasn't rooting for them to get together. I could care less what happened to them. And the stuff with, like, him.
The problem is, the problem is that there's no reason for them to be together or apart. Like, there's
she didn't even need to be in this movie, honestly.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think they have her because they've got Natalie Portman under contract.
How much more interesting would it have been if Loki was the one who was possessed with the ether?
Sure. Well,
yeah.
This is now a couple points here. First of all, I think we'll all agree that Loki is great in this film.
The movie is so much more interesting when he's on screen.
And there's a couple of really great moments that he has. And Brian, you sent a link earlier today that said that these were kind of like Tom Hiddleston's ideas.
Yeah, basically the best scenes in the movies were his ideas.
Right. And one of them is, he learned, he's in Asgardian prison, and he learns that his mother's been killed, and just his nonverbal reaction to that, where he sort of lashes out with his power. And then after that, I thought it was very interesting when Thor comes down to the prison to seek Loki's help. He speaks to who he thinks is Loki, but it turns out to be an illusion. And then we see the real Loki, and his hair is all mussed, and his feet are bloody, and we realize that he's been lashing out in
about
grief.
His mother's death.
And I thought that was very poignant.
Yeah.
Very poignant, and it's completely unstated, right?
Yeah.
And I was very well done. And there's a reason that Loki, the character, is very popular, because I think Tom Hiddleston has done a really great job of making us like him, even as we hate him, right? The point that I want to make is that it all leads up to a climax that I could not have been any less interested in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was actually talking about this with some of my film classes, where I'm just like, I feel like just blockbusters in general have lost this thread, because we had the same problem with Iron Man 3, where it led up to this, like, oh, here's 50 Iron Man suits, right?
Right.
And that was the exact moment where I'm like, okay, this is the exact moment where I stopped giving a shit about this movie.
Right.
Well, it's because for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I have no idea what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
And then, like, something happens where the characters look at you like, right, we did it. And I'm like, did what?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I definitely don't want to make this like the Star Wars episode, but I think, the example I always use about, like, how to do it right is look at the first Star Wars, but an even better example is look at Empire Strikes Back, right? We start with the big, massive battle scene up there, and then the whole narrative moves along, and it comes to a point where the climax is a sword fight between two guys.
Right.
And what gives it weight is there's actual dramatic... There's revelations, and there's stakes.
Yep.
Right.
And so, in other words, we don't have Darth Vader tossing around a CGI animated Luke Skywalker, right? Because we don't have an investment in that. Instead, it's Luke Skywalker got his hand cut off.
Right.
Right.
And he's sweaty and he's bloody, and and I feel like even in a film that is fantasy and far-fetched, we can have the stakes feel real and not just kind of vague and unnecessary. So this film it culminates in Malekith and Thor tossing each other around, moving through dimensions and whatever, and I don't care about any of it.
But
Which was a cool idea.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's a cool idea to have dimensions like falling into each other like that. That's a great concept.
Sean and I were talking about this yesterday, and it's funny you say that about Empire, because I said this to Sean yesterday about Back to the Future. I was like, look, Back to the Future is about lightning's going to strike at this time. You have to get to the car to this point. That's it, right? Yeah. So the whole third act is about all the things that prevent them, could possibly prevent them from that simple action.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like cables fall apart. You got to go over here, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So the car won't start. Da-da-da-da. But I know he has to get here by this time for this to happen. And so that's what I was saying. I was like, look, I loved all that stuff where they were going through the dimensions. I thought it was cool when, like, the car from Earth would go through a portal into, like, some other planet. That's cool. But what I needed to understand was, what was the goal?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Like, if the goal had been, like, those two stakes or whatever it was that they had, that their scientist friend had, it's like basically, and I'm making this up, but, like, what if the bad guy had to stand in between those two things at a certain point? So the whole thing is, like, we got to get those stakes over there. Well, we can't because there's, like, this thing. Like, what if, then one of the things gets knocked over? And, all these complications, but I know I'm rooting for them to get him between these two points. I can root for that. And then as soon as he steps between those points, he gets sucked up into a hole. And you're like, oh, crap. Like, another delay. Like, that's fine. But I understand the goal. Like, in this point, they finally get him. They, like, knock him into his ship. And then they flip a switch. And everyone's like, see, we did it. And I'm like, did what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that's what we were trying to get accomplished.
It's the specific stakes are so nebulous that it's just kind of...
You're just like looking at the screen. You're not really paying attention to what's happening.
Right.
Which, again, is such a shame because I felt like there were so many things in this movie that were good setups. I mean, I felt like, again, I felt like Jane, and this is no discredit to Natalie Portman, I thought she was a terrible character in this movie. I mean, I didn't understand her at all. She's like this scientist, but she seems like a total moron. Yeah. And, like, you know what I mean? She's so, like, weird and ditzy. And I suppose they thought that was charming, but I didn't think it worked at all. Because, I mean, this is the girl Thor is supposed to be like, I would travel across the universe for. Yeah. And when they said, Odin, his father, is saying, look, Jane is a human. She's going to die in a short span of time. You're going to live longer than her. But there's this perfectly perfect girl here in your realm. What's her name? Civ, I think?
Civ, yeah. Jamie Alexander.
Yeah. Jamie Alexander. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But then, and Jamie Alexander, by the way, awesome presence.
Yep.
On screen.
She's in the running to play Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
which
she
is
looks
never
great.
Gonna happen.
Her character seems interesting.
Marvel's never going to let that happen.
But, like, they don't do anything with that. I was like, oh, all right. Well, that would make sense. And honestly, Natalie Portman or Jane is no competition to this other girl for Thor.
I totally agree with that.
Kind of silly.
But, well, the other characters, I was thinking, like, did you guys notice that Fandral, who's one of the Warriors 3, he's the blonde one with the goatee, is played by a different actor in this one.
Levi?
He's Zachary Levi in this one.
Yeah.
You would never know it.
No.
Because who cares?
Right.
Right. He's played by Josh Dallas in the first one, who's on that show Once Upon a Time. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. And he wasn't able to do it. So they just swapped in this other guy, and I mean, that's kind of the problem, is that all these side characters are kind of, like, I wish they'd give them more to do, because I like the characters. I like Ray Stevenson as Volstagg and all.
This whole Thor universe, so ripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say, I overall, I think I liked it more than you guys, to the extent that, it's like quintessential popcorn movie. I think it's a well-made popcorn film.
Did the coincidences bother you? Remember the Spider-Man 3 argument? Like, in this movie, it's like, where's the doctor? Oh, he just happens to pop up on the TV when they're looking for him. It's like, hey, Natalie Portman, how are we going to get off of this? How are we going to get off of this dark world? Oh, we just happened to be right next to the portal and getting cell phone reception.
Well, and more than that, the fact that the overlap in dimensions happens to take Jane to the underground urn thing, and
that's connected to Thor's grandfather.
It's not even like she has to look for it; they drop her right next to it.
Yeah, and then the fact that the ether gets activated—that's what gets the whole. The bad guys going.
I do want to say, when Thor and Loki teamed up, that stuff was all really fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I wish it was more.
Yeah, because I feel like, obviously we're being so negative on this, but there was a lot of great stuff. Again, I agree. I wouldn't say I disliked it. I just felt so it could have been this.
Yeah.
And but yeah, anytime Loki's on screen, it's great. Thor and Loki together is great.
And I think Chris Hemsworth is
he's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's just really good in this role, And
what a crazy combination. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, to find a guy who's huge, good looking, a good actor, and charming and funny. They totally found the guy.
Yeah.
I want them to keep making Thor movies. I just hope they'll, I don't know, just think them through a little bit more.
I will say, I liked this more than Iron Man 3. I think overall it was just more engaging and just because Iron Man 3 is way too long, first of all, and it coasts on our fondness for Robert Downey.
Sure.
And I think this one, there's at least a little bit more going on, and it's shorter.
Yeah.
So that to me slightly.
But ultimately, it's an hour and
3,
45 minutes you sit through just to get to that weird Benicio del Toro scene, which looked like something out of a Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Right. Well, what's funny is that Alan Taylor has been at pains to distance himself from that whenever possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just I didn't do that. I want to be very clear. I didn't direct that. I don't think he's being malicious about it, because it's directed by what's his face. James Gunn, who's directing Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's been very much he's I don't want to get credit for it because I didn't it's kind of protesting too much,
Yeah, it was a little awkward. I was when I said it looked like dailies. There was a moment where they filmed from behind Del Toro when he gets his box and they hold on it for a really long time before anyone says anything. I was like, is this finished?
So we have kind of a mixed verdict then on the second Thor movie. It sounds like.
Yeah. Again, this is me not hating on it, but just man, I really wish it had just gotten another polish or something, because there were so many things in there that I did enjoy. The moments. Anytime Thor's on Earth is gold. Mm-hmm. When he walks into that apartment and he hangs his hammer on the coat rack. Yeah. That was hysterical.
Yeah.
So, and I love the idea of a love triangle between him and this girl he lives on Earth and a girl from his realm. I think that's really interesting. It's funny thinking of the bad guy again and just how inconsequential he felt and everything. Think of the Avengers with Loki. That moment where he makes everyone bow before him, and then that one guy's like, "I'm not bowing to you." Whoa! I remember that making me give me chills when I saw it in the theater, and it's okay, that's the bad guy. He's, and this bad guy, I don't even know.
I think
you know what I mean? So it was there, but I just don't feel like it was realized as best it could be.
One more quick thing I wanted to mention too, and this goes back to trailers, like giving away the wrong things. The opening of the movie is basically the trailer for it. Battle where he destroys that rock creature.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and this is something that's supposed to be really cool, and it's this really awesome moment for this lead character that's sort of supposed to set the tone. But like, it wasn't a surprise to me because I had just seen this, like this whole scene pretty much in the trailer.
Yeah.
I already seen this stuff. Like, the hell? The hell, brah?
Can I add one little very spoilery aside that an observation I thought was really fun I shared with Sean last night? Let's talk about Thor's mom's funeral.
Okay.
So first of all, his mother dying, I wanted to feel more. And then all of a sudden the funeral's like kind of going. It almost felt like that thing when you're fast forwarding on your DVR and you hit one fast forward instead of two. And it's going kind of fast, but not super fast. And I was like, wow, this is moving kind of quickly. Like, I guess I'm supposed to get sad here real quick. But then all of a sudden, so you got her, it's sort of like a Viking funeral. She's out on the water, and you got like an archer with a flaming arrow. I was like, oh, okay, wow, that's pretty heavy. So they like throw the arrow out, and then her boat becomes a flame, and it shows her like a flame. I was like, oh wow, yeah, it's just like it's pretty deep. It sucks. And then it like cuts from another angle, and then all of a sudden there's like all these other flaming arrows hurtling toward her. I was like, oh wow, okay, like I guess this is like a thing. Okay, whoa. Like, oh, okay, that's actually quite beautiful. It's nice. It's like everybody mourning together. That's nice. Then it cuts to another angle, and a flame boat is about to go over a waterfall. I was like, oh no. I was like, well, you know what? That's probably part of their ceremony. That's very nice, Asgardian, I guess. And then it goes over, and all of a sudden she becomes light, and she like flickers up into the sky and becomes a constellation. I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, you know what, whatever. This is like kind of a fantasy. I can buy into that, sure. Then it cuts back, and everyone at the funeral all of a sudden has glowing orbs in their hands. And then all the orbs start floating in the sky. I was like, okay. You know what? I told Sean, I was like, it felt like 5 guys were sitting around a table trying to figure out what the funeral was going to be. And they're like, no, it's going to be the orbs. No, it's going to be all the flaming arrows. No, it's going to be the waterfall constellation spirit thing. And they're like, you know what? It's 2 a.m. We got families we got to go back to. F it. It's going to be all of them.
It's funny. I was about to be like, the music score during the scene when the mother's funeral was very nice. But now I feel embarrassed saying that. Oh, okay.
Man, I feel really bad this was just a poop session because, again, I didn't hate this movie.
My take on Thor 2 is it's a middle-of-the-pack Marvel movie. You know what you're going to get. It's entertaining, and don't expect too much depth, but I think you'll probably enjoy it if you moderate your expectations.
Right.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we made everyone sit through all that.
So I lost last time, so I'm going to dish out some Thor-centric trivia. And
it's going to be a long night, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you guys pick Thor supporting characters?
I'll be Loki.
Okay.
Jesus, name somebody else.
Volstagg.
Okay, I'll be Volstagg.
All right, let's do this.
Alrighty, here we go. So, who is the first actor to play Thor
Volstagg.
in live action?
Yes. Vincent D'Onofrio.
The real Thor, not...
Oh.
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, really?
Yeah. And that was going to be question number 2, so I guess I have to find a new question number 2.
I don't know.
Sean? I don't know either.
It's Eric Allen Kramer. You guys might know him as Little John in the Men in Tights movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in 1988, there was a film called The Incredible Hulk Returns that teamed up David Banner, played by Bill Bixby, with Thor, played by Eric Kramer. And the idea was that was a backdoor pilot for a potential Thor TV series.
How much cooler would it have been if at the end of Thor, that spaceship is about to fall on Natalie Portman and Thor? How cool would it have been if they turn around and there's the Incredible Hulk, like, holding it up?
That would be pretty cool.
And it's like the event, and the Avengers are there, and it's just like, dude, like, you know, ask for help. It's okay to ask for help.
Well, to that point, you got to admit that the little Avengers cameo that they had was pretty fun.
Yeah, the Chris Evans thing was awesome.
Which director who later did a different Marvel comic-based film was originally going to direct the first Thor film?
Ooh. Volstagg.
Yes.
Matthew Vaughn?
That's right, Matthew Vaughn.
Matthew
Vaughn bailed on Thor, and then he had previously bailed on X-Men 3. And then he went on to bail on X-Men Days of Future Past. So he bails on things.
He's a bailer.
All right. So the role of Fandral, we mentioned earlier how Zachary Levi replaced Josh Dallas. Now, interestingly, Zach Levi was actually first cast in that role, but he couldn't do it because of his TV show. So when Zachary Levi turned it down, they cast this actor who left after just a few days. And this actor also missed out on playing another iconic role in another fantasy series, which he also left after a few days.
Loki.
Yes.
This guy.
Volstagg.
Townsend? Stuart Townsend?
Stuart Townsend, that's...
Nice.
Boom.
So, this guy, I think, is just hard to work with because the same thing. How much can he be complaining about a nothing role like Fandral?
Seriously.
You know, this is a comic book based question. What is Loki's relationship to Thor?
Loki.
Yes.
Adoptive brothers?
That would be correct. So foster brother.
Foster brother.
Yeah. Because stepbrother would mean that
by marriage,
one parent is the same. Yeah. All right, here we go. In the comic books, what is the object that must be tapped on the ground to turn into Thor's hammer?
Loki.
Yes.
Is it the staff of Ra?
That is incorrect.
Volstagg.
Yes.
Is it Huey Lewis's harmonica?
No. So, can I assume neither of you know it?
Yeah, go for it.
It is a walking stick.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a walking stick, and you tap it on the ground, it turns into Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
What question was that? Number 4, number 5?
I have no
I think
idea.
that was 5, actually.
I've got one more here.
Okay.
I had a Vincent D'Onofrio question, which I can't use now. So. Hold on. Okay, so I don't have anything written down here, so I'm gonna have to.
Congratulations, Brian.
This is the first quiz where we just kind of gave up. All right, well that just about wraps things up for this episode. We've had a lengthy discussion about Thor, and I think we could have kept going, mostly with Sean's bitter.
Not bitter. I just wanted.
There.
I wanted different. That's all.
I'm hoping that the next Thor film will be called Stop Hammer Time. If they call it that, I'll be okay with whatever they come up with. I'll be perfectly fine with it. Brian, where can people find you online?
Online at everythingbrian.blogspot.com.
Sean, how about you?
Moosehub.com and MrBoyProductions.com. You can find all of us, as well as Facebook.com/MovieFilmPodcast and MovieFilmPodcast.com.
And I think that's everything. And as for me, you can find me at ZakisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. And also at the Huffington Post, where my movie reviews go up with semi-regularity. My Thor review is up right now, so you can check that out. Also,
and getting criticized by Orson Scott Card.
I know. Living the dream. Living the dream. Be sure to write us a review. You can find us on Stitcher Radio and iTunes. Either place, go there, leave a star rating, leave us a review, let people know what you think of the show. If you like the show, we missed 1 week, but we will do our best not to miss anymore. We're going to be back on schedule after this one. This is the Movie Film Podcast, and we promise we will see you in 2 weeks.
Word.
Welcome, friends.